Let's explore the beginning of Japan. It's full of exciting myths and legends. The emperors of Japan believe they are related to the sun goddess Amaterasu. Emperor Jimmu, who is said to be her descendant, became emperor in 660 BCE. This is a super important date because it's when Japan officially began. It's also the start of the oldest ruling family in the world. The Yamato clan became powerful during the Yamato period from 250 CE to 710 CE. They united different tribes all over the islands and created a strong government. This helped create a unique Japanese identity. Japan learned a lot from China during this time, like how to write, the Buddhist religion, and Confucianism. These things shaped early Japanese culture. The Kofun period, from around 300 to 538 CE, is part of the Yamato era. It's known for its giant keyhole-shaped tombs built for important people. These tombs teach us about how people lived and what they believed back then. They remind us of Japan's ancient past. In 645 CE, the Taika reforms changed how the government worked, making it stronger and more organized. These changes, inspired by China, were super important for Japan's future. They made the emperor more powerful and shaped Japanese society. The Nara period, from 710 to 794, was a big moment in Japanese history. Nara became Japan's first real capital city. This led to a lot of growth in culture and politics. Nara was designed like Chang'an, the capital of China's Tang dynasty. It became a center for art, religion, and learning. Buddhism, which had arrived earlier, became really popular during this time. Huge temples like Todaiji, with its giant bronze Buddha statue, showed how important Buddhism was becoming. Buddhist ideas showed up in art, writing, and everyday life, changing Japanese culture forever. The Heian period, from 794 to 1185, is often called the Golden Age of Japanese culture. The capital was Heian-kyo, which is now Kyoto. This time period is famous for its amazing literature, poetry, and art. The imperial court, the center of power and sometimes drama, was a big part of this cultural boom. The Heian period is especially famous for its writing. Murasaki Shikibu wrote The Tale of Genji, often called the world's first novel. It tells us about life in the court and how complicated relationships can be. Sei Shonagon's The Pillow Book is full of funny observations about court life and beauty. These books show how advanced and refined Heian culture was. During the Heian period, the warrior class, the samurai, started to become more powerful than the court nobles. Powerful families like the Minamoto and Taira fought each other in the Genpei War from 1180 to 1185. Minamoto Yoritomo won and started the Kamakura shogunate in 1192. This was a huge change for Japan. It started almost 700 years of military rule. The emperor was still important, but the shogun, the military leader, had the real power. The Muromachi period from 1336 to 1573 saw the Ashikaga family take charge and start the Ashikaga shogunate. This period had cool cultural stuff like the tea ceremony and no theatre. But there were also lots of fights and problems. The Onin War from 1467 to 1477 really hurt Japan. It weakened the Ashikaga shogunate and started 100 years of fighting called the Sengoku period, or the Warring States period. During this chaotic time, powerful lords called daimyo fought each other constantly, causing lots of trouble. After all the fighting of the Sengoku period, three powerful leaders emerged: Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu. Nobunaga was tough and used guns in new ways. He started to unite Japan. Hideyoshi, his skilled general, continued the job. After Hideyoshi died, Tokugawa Ieyasu took over and started the Tokugawa shogunate in 1603. Ieyasu's win at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600 ended the big wars in Japan. He made Edo, which is now Tokyo, the new capital. This began a long period of peace that lasted over 250 years. The Tokugawa shogunate created a strict social system and kept Japan isolated from the rest of the world. This was called Sakoku. They didn't want other countries to influence Japan. Christianity, which the shogunate thought was dangerous, was banned. Trade with other countries was very limited, only allowing a few Dutch and Chinese traders in special areas. Keeping Japan isolated worked for a while, but eventually it caused problems. By the middle of the 1800s, Western countries, especially the United States, wanted to trade with Japan. Commodore Matthew Perry sailed into Edo Bay in 1853 with a bunch of modern warships. This forced Japan to realize that its technology and military weren't as good as the West's. Perry's black ships shocked Japan. The shogunate couldn't say no to the West, and people, especially the samurai, were angry. They thought the shogunate was weak and wanted the emperor to rule again. In 1868, young samurai and court nobles overthrew the Tokugawa shogunate and gave power back to Emperor Meiji. This is called the Meiji Restoration, and it was a huge turning point. It started a period of fast modernization and change. The Meiji Restoration completely changed Japanese society. The new government wanted to be as modern as the West. They changed the military, the economy, and schools. Japan copied Western technology, based its government on European countries, and started building factories. As Japan modernized, it also became more nationalistic and wanted to control more land. This led to fights with nearby countries. In 1894 to 1895, Japan beat China in the First Sino-Japanese War and took control of Taiwan. This made Japan a powerful country in the area. Japan surprised the world by beating Russia in the Russo-Japanese War from 1904 to 1905. It was the first time an Asian country beat a major European power in modern times. This win made Japan a major military power and made them want even more land. After World War I, Japan was a powerful country in the Pacific, but the Great Depression in the 1930s hurt Japan badly, causing problems and making the military stronger. The military started to control the government. Japan became aggressive, invading Manchuria in 1931 and then all of China in 1937. Japan's actions made the United States and other Western countries angry. The US stopped trading certain things with Japan because of what they were doing in China. Japan had to decide, leave China or find resources somewhere else. They chose the second option. On December 7, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. They hoped to destroy the US Navy there and take control of the Pacific, but it backfired. The attack made the United States join World War II. Losing World War II changed Japan completely. Bombing raids had destroyed cities, the economy was ruined, and people felt defeated. The United States, led by General Douglas MacArthur, occupied Japan and helped it become peaceful and democratic. With MacArthur's help, Japan created a new constitution in 1947. It said that Japan wouldn't fight wars anymore and would be a democracy. The emperor lost his political power and became a symbol of Japan. Even though things were difficult after the war, Japan's economy grew incredibly fast. This is called the Japanese economic miracle. With help from the US, Japan focused on making things and selling them to other countries. Japan became a world leader in electronics, cars, and technology. Today, Japan shows how a country can be strong and creative. It rebuilt after a terrible war and became a powerful country with advanced technology. Japan is a leader in robotics, artificial intelligence, and super-fast trains. Even though Japan is successful, it has problems too, like an aging population, a slow economy, and questions about its identity in a changing world. But its rich culture, creativity, and belief in peace and working with other countries continue to guide it. Japan's journey from its mythical beginnings to the modern country it is today is an amazing story. It's a story of change, creativity, and strength. As Japan faces the challenges of the 21st century, its history and culture continue to inspire and shape its future.